You've tuned in to the Top 10 Gardener with garden expert Ken Lain. Join him daily as he answers timely garden questions that are sure to make a difference in your gardens. Now welcome your host, Ken Lain.
And we are back with Lisa Waters-Lain. She comes each week and just shares her garden insight, just what is going on in her gardens and her what's top of mind. So you get different gardeners, you get different ideas. Plus, I like sharing microphone time with a pretty gal.
Thank you, dear.
My gal.
Your gal.
You look good.
Thank you.
So what you got? What you thinking about this week?
Well, for us, for gardeners, especially for nursery owners, spring is like Christmas to us. And
Yeah, right.
we just get super excited when we know trucks are starting to roll, things are coming in, and we are expecting our first truck of the season to come in, I think, next week. I never give an exact date because trucking is one of those.
So many times a truck breaks down in Vegas. I don't know why that is sometimes.
Or you get a snowstorm coming in.
True.
So there's a lot of things that can affect it. But we're expecting it next week, which means it could be next week or the week after. But hey, it's coming.
Yeah. 4 different farms. We've got it hitting 4 different farms up and loading different things. So all kinds of stuff. A mixture of things are coming.
Mm-hmm. But the main thing I'm excited about is some of the new fruit trees that we have coming in. So fruit trees and those early spring flowering trees will be coming in. And they've really gotten creative with the fruit trees, which is kind of cool because, you've seen one peach tree.
We've sold thousands.
Which is great. Not knocking peach trees. They do wonderful here. But it's kind of fun, the new ones that they're coming up with. So if you're kind of new into this environment, the what do you always call it? The highlands of Arizona? Central Highlands.
Kind of this higher, come up the hill, Cordes Junction, and you go to the right, you got Sedona, Camp Verde, Cottonwood. To the left, you got Prescott Valley, Dewey, Mayer, Humboldt. You got Chino Valley, Paulden, all this whole area. We're all the same zone. We're all the same plants. We're all the same.
And fruit trees do really well in our environment. Some people are surprised at what will grow here. They can't grow citrus, can't grow avocado trees, but we can grow a lot of things. And
everything
they do
else
very well. Yeah. So peaches, plums, nectarines, cherries, pears, what am I missing? Apricots,
almonds, pluots, walnuts.
Yeah. So you got a wide variety of things that can grow up here. So, and what I like about some of these newer trees that we're getting in is that they're kind of combination trees. So we're getting, excuse me. So in the apples, I'm sorry.
Your voice is trying to go, isn't it?
We got some really cool. So a lot of your apple, a lot of fruit trees, so we'll start with that. They need a pollinator. Sometimes you can put just one variety in and it will pollinate and you're fine. But a lot of times they need a partner and they need a partner that will pollinate with them. Not every apple pollinates every other apple.
Right.
What I love about the combo trees is they're picking varieties that will pollinate each other.
Complement.
So if you have a smaller yard or maybe you want an apple tree and a cherry tree, but you don't want just one variety, you can get different varieties off of there. They pollinate each other, so you're saving that space.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. So the apples, we do get the 3-in-1s. And get 2 different kinds with the apples. Sometimes they'll be grafted onto that main trunk. You'll get 3 or 4 different varieties grafted on. But we also get one they call a clump. So with that one, you're getting 3 separate tree varieties. It's almost like the aspens when the aspens come in the clump.
Aspen. Yeah, absolutely.
So you're getting 3 different varieties that have their own trunks.
Yeah.
And we get those as well, which is kind of cool.
And they're all made to pollinate each other. And the other beauty of this is another name they call these are cocktail trees because there's a blend of different fruits on the same tree. And so the other beauty of this is they get harvested at different times. So you don't have 8 bushels of Honeycrisp. You've got some Golden Delicious, then the Honeycrisp come off, then it's the Galas, then it's the Black Arkansas, or whatever the combo is. Right. So it takes the pressure off of having to deal with all this fruit all at once. It broadens it out.
Definitely. So the trees that we're getting combo, so apples,
Yeah.
definitely. We're getting cherries in the 3-in-1 and 4-in-1, and we're getting pears
Oh,
in
that's a
the
fun
3-in-1,
one. Oh, that's
4-in-1.
good.
So that'll be great. I can't remember if we're getting a peach or not. I'm gonna have to look that up.
That'd be
But
more
we are
unusual.
getting what we call the fruit salad combo. So the fruit salad is it may have a peach, a nectarine, and a plum.
So all
Yeah,
pitted fruits
all pitted
together.
fruits. Yeah, you're not going to get an apple and a plum, or yeah,
You can't graft a
right.
peach onto an apple tree. They're different varieties. It'd be like a cancer. It would eject it.
Mhm,
But you can a peach and a apricot. They're the same. They're both pitted
mhm,
fruits. Plums. They kind of cross over. So some you can graft and some you
right.
cannot.
Mhm. And then we're getting a few of the ones that are they genetic? So like a pluot, which is a
Yeah,
plum and
right.
a apricot.
They've grafted
They've
an apricot onto a peach rootstock. So you're doing it that way. Still a graft, but they're playing with rootstocks.
mhm,
What varieties go where and how much.
mhm.
Kind of fun. It's
So
new
you're kind of
science,
getting
new
some
fun.
crosses on
Right.
those. So we're getting a few of those in kind of things as well. So last year we introduced kind of that fruit salad tree, and we didn't know it was going to be so popular.
It was big. We ran out. We tried to get
We
more. We
did.
ran out again.
So this year we hopefully brought in a lot,
Yeah.
but what I would tell people is do not wait.
Yeah, grab 'em
If
early.
this is one you were looking at last year and couldn't get, or you're just thinking, oh, that's kind of a cool idea and I got a spot, don't wait too long because they do go. And like you said, they're not widgets where you can go produce 20 more. What you get for the season kind of is what you get for the season. That's what the farms have grown.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get a lot more.
I'd say the average age of these trees coming in,
Oh yeah,
anywhere from 7 to 12 years old.
Mhm.
Depending on the size, what bucket size, the
Yeah.
trunk. But they were planted,
A while ago.
years ago.
Mhm.
We just now they're big enough to harvest or shapely enough to bring them in.
Yeah, and I would say our trees, we really the vendors that we do the farming for us that we buy from, they do an excellent job. You're not going to find a little skinny whip. It's not going to
Yeah.
be some tree that you're going to wait 10 years to get fruit off of. You're going to start getting fruit off of these pretty quickly.
First year.
And they're healthy trees. They're well rooted out. They're not going to be bare root. They're well rooted out in their buckets. So those are important things to think about when you're shopping
And make
trees.
sure the trunk is straight. I mean, trees, if you get an ugly tree, it never gets pretty. It just gets uglier and uglier with age. A beautiful tree up front just gets more and more luscious
Mhm.
as it grows. It's the most important thing. You want to make sure you hand pick your trees, even if you're having another landscaper do the work for you. Want to hand pick your tree. Shrubs, less important. Perennial flowers, doesn't even matter.
Yes, it does.
Trees, you
Yeah.
need to hand pick those
Mhm.
so you get the right ones. And then make sure, if we're talking fruit trees, make sure they're varieties that are high altitude varieties, because you'll see there'll be fruit trees in every box, every grocery store. They'll be everywhere.
True.
Half of them, I would say, half of the trees you find in the marketplace, not here at Waters, we cherry pick the ones that are right for here.
No pun intended.
But you'll see desert varieties. That buyer's going, I got 100 stores, ship 50 of those to all my stores.
Mhm.
And they don't care if it's for Flagstaff or Payson or Phoenix, or they're
True.
just ordering. They just want to make a sale of a
Mhm.
tree. It's just not. I'm embarrassed sometimes, but
Okay, honey, get off your
anyway, on my
soapbox.
soapbox.
Climb down.
Sometimes the gardening, you're not a bad gardener. You were sold the wrong thing.
Don't fall off your soapbox.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention is we're actually getting a nice selection of dwarf nectarines and dwarf peaches.
Nice.
So in the nectarines, we're getting Arctic Babe and Nectar Babe, which
I like
are really
the word babe in my fruit trees.
And then in peaches, we're getting Garden Gold, Honey Babe, and the Pixie.
Yeah, good choices.
So some really nice dwarfs that are coming in. We'll also be getting our early crab apples.
Nice.
And red buds and
Nice.
plums, ornamental plums.
Do we get that new flamethrower?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which is really a
can't
pretty
wait.
tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely getting the new stuff in. It's a good time to come in and start checking us out.
Spring is right around the corner. The plants are en route. we've actually gotten some trucks already in. So it's kind of exciting time. And you can plant those whenever you're ready. Best to plant them before they wake up, before they leaf out or bloom in spring. You want to get them in the ground. Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back. As the days get longer and brighter, houseplants can struggle and scorch, but we have the solution.
At Waters, we've organized our houseplants from A to Z for the brightest of sunny locations, many even bloom.
With experts that know plants and how to make them grow.
Shipments of the freshest houseplants in town have just arrived from A to Z and ready for a bright new home.
You're listening to garden expert Ken Lain, owner of Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Look for more tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts through Ken's website. Additional shows of this podcast, read his weekly garden column, or follow him on Facebook, Instagram at watersgardencenter.com. That's Waters with 2 T's, gardencenter.com.